Hi, everyone, and welcome to our very special interview today, where we delve into the transformative impact of travel on intercultural communication. My guest today is an expert in the field, Dr. Hala El Miniawi. So Dr. Hala is a trainer, writer, and consultant in human resource management and development, where she has contributed to the training of administrative and educational leaders in many government and private institutions in the United Arab Emirates. She is a member of international organizations for sustainable development. She's also a member of the Canadian Arab Business Council based in Dubai. Dr. Hala has presented many research papers on sustainable development, leadership, performance evaluation, and job description in third world countries, local conferences in Dubai, and globally, including countries in Australia, Greece, Istanbul, and also doing webcast lectures in the US and the UK. She also is an author, very distinguished author. She has published a series of 3 books on intellectual development that have been displayed in book fairs in Arab and foreign capitals. And she's also authored 10 books as a last count in Amazon. She has 10 books, including The Secrets of Living and A Journey of Self-Recognition. She will share more information about one of these books later on. There are a number of beneficiaries of Dr. Hannah's training, namely, just name some few, private and government organizations like the Abu Dhabi HR Authority, the Abu Dhabi Customs Ministry of Economy, the Abu Dhabi Space Agency, the Abu Dhabi Stock Market, and the General Command of the Armed Forces. And so without further ado, I'd like to let Dr. Hala in our interview. Thank you, Dr. Hala, for joining me today.
Thank you, Maria, for giving me this chance.
It's a
Ladies and
pleasure.
gentlemen, thank you for attending this interview, and I hope that we will present something worthwhile for everyone.
Oh, definitely. I'm pretty sure they will get a lot of takeaways from our conversation this morning or this afternoon in Dubai. Okay, so Dr. Hala, let's start by discussing about our main topic here. So how do you think travel contributes to fostering intercultural communication? I'd like you to share some insights on this, please.
Yeah, so I will just start by my story. I remember the first time I traveled was when I was 17 years old. I joined my brother in Germany. It was called at that time West Germany. And believe me, that journey, the view from the plane, it was the first time I traveled. And there, when I met the people, I met the new places, totally different from my own country, because I was raised basically in Damascus. So it was, let's say, a mind-opening journey. I stayed there for 2 months. I met people, and the key for enjoyment of that trip was the language, because there should be a medium of communication. So you can't go just to a place and never mingle with the people of that place, So I was really impressed by that trip. And when I went back, I studied English literature. So usually when you read books of literature, you learn about the experiences of other people. You delve into their experiences, into their cultural experiences, and you develop this kind of understanding of other nations and other cultures. The more you are open-minded, the more you show understanding of the world as it is without being judgmental. The more you are able to communicate with anyone you meet. And of course, you will appreciate. First, you will appreciate your existence on this earth, and then you will appreciate beauty everywhere. So again, after I finished my study, I traveled again to Germany. And then the big shift was when I just moved to Dubai. Dubai is a totally different experience. It has a unique culture, a little bit different from my own culture, but I enjoyed every minute I spent in Dubai, to tell the truth, because basically I had this kind of acceptance, So when you move into a new community, uh, you have to develop this kind of acceptance of that place, of the people who are living there, of their culture. And you start exchanging, you know. So I learned about their food, about using saffron, about using aloe. It's a kind of perfumes very popular in the Gulf. And of course, I transferred some of my own cultural experiences to them. And it has been since now, now I've been here in Dubai for 32 years. It has been a unique experience. I received more than 190 certificate of appreciation, more than, let's say, 15 trophies and awards.
Wow.
I've been granted the golden visa, and now they nominated me to get the Emirati nationality. So
Wow.
basically, you know, I think that trip I took when I was 17, that acceptance I developed of other cultures, that readiness to embrace changes was at the bottom line, was at the core of my successful experience.
Hmm. And it looks like, based on the examples that you've given, what I'm getting from you is traveling and acceptance and immersing yourself in that culture, in that place where you are located. It actually humanizes the different cultures. It helps maybe, and not maybe, but definitely it helps dispel any stereotypes that you we initially have in that place, in that country, right? And so very, very fascinating story based on how you integrated yourself. And now hearing from you that you've been granted the golden visa, you've been getting awards, you've been truly rewarded in the work that you do for that particular country. Yeah. So I know, Dr. Hala, that you wanted to speak about the um, the impact of travel as well, in terms of how do we ensure that being in that particular place, different culture, how do you see the impact of travel in breaking down barriers as related to race, faith, titles, or perspectives?
Yeah, so basically, I think everything starts from within,
Mm,
right?
mm-hmm,
So again, you should be prepared. You should have this kind of readiness inside yourself to see new places. And the more you visit, the more you understand that we are all the same, you know? Uh, as a human, we belong to the same origin, regardless of what we live in, how we look, how we are dressed, or how we look, you know, or what we wear. Even we put something on our head or we don't. Uh, so we belong all to the same origin. Okay. Even when you visit cities, you feel that, strangely enough, some cities look alike.
mm,
So when I've been to Istanbul, I felt that some streets look exactly like Damascus. Uh, for example, I went to Thailand, and the beaches there look somehow like what I've seen in Australia.
mm,
So yeah, so this kind of appreciation, looking at the world with a new eye, the eye of appreciation and the gratitude. So you will never be satisfied of visiting new places, I can tell you. And you know, the most beautiful thing is when you write about your experiences, when you try to describe the places you visited for others, you know, and even taking photos. I make sure that I take photos in every place I visit, and I share the photos with other people. You know, so the first step is to enjoy and then to share.
mm-hmm. So looking at the with an eyes of appreciation, that's very insightful, Dr. Hara. So in terms of challenges. Do you see any of the challenges or limitations in using travel as a means to promote better understanding among different cultures?
Yeah, I can say that in 2009, I was invited to present at Queensland University. Okay. And once I went with my son there, and once I arrived there, I was wearing my scarf, and I felt that there were certain looks from certain people in the streets. And then my son said, "Okay, mommy, don't you worry." I said, "No, mommy, it's okay because they don't know me. You know, sometimes, some people automatically feel that those who do not look like us might be danger to us, and even maybe images on social media or whatever." uh, I told him, I am new to this place, so I have to show them my kindness, my intercultural modesty, and my skills of communication. And then let's see what will happen. And the result was amazing. I went to the conference. We had a great research paper to present there. I mingled with people. I even tried to ignore some of the looks.
Mm.
And believe me, at the end, those looks changed into looks of admiration, because it's okay. First impression might be, different from one nation to another, from one culture to another. Sometimes our pre-experiences with people, maybe the programming of our consciousness might limit our abilities of communication.
Mhm.
But just try to be yourself. Just try to be modest. Just don't take it personal
Mhm.
and try really to communicate with those people. By the end, we are all human. And my visit to Australia was great. And then I went back twice to finish my master, to finish my PhD. And it turned out to be a wonderful place. Usually, Maria, when I give training, we usually talk about the 6 hats of
Mhm.
communication.
Okay.
6 hats of communication, not to delve into details. It talks about the white hat, the black, the yellow, the green, the blue. But the bottom line is that the way you react to situation determine how that situation will end. Okay, so the same like the example I gave you. So whatever the first impression was, or the first impression other people gave you, try to be patient. Try just to put on the white hat and the green hat. Try to be optimistic with self-confidence, and try to be resilient. Show them acceptance, and in return, they will show you acceptance.
Mhm.
And since then, I can tell you, I went to so many places, uh, and I never met people, who were aggressive or, culturally biased. I will tell you only one hint as well. When I went to Georgia, Tbilisi, it's a country full of old and historical churches,
Mhm.
So the tour guide used to take us to the church, uh, and I was the first to get into the church and ask questions and take, photos, just to show my respect to other religions. Because we have faith, we believe in the same thing, though we express it in different ways.
Mhm.
So again and again, you have to show respect for other cultures, be resilient, and don't take it personal.
Mhm. You know, very insightful again. So what I heard from you is it starts from within, from ourselves, something that
Exactly.
we cannot control what other people would like to think about us, but it
Yeah.
really us having that curiosity, having that patience you mentioned, having that respect of other people, to a sensitivity of other cultures as well, it will
Mhm.
help us overcome any barriers or
Yeah,
limitations when
exactly,
we're traveling. Okay, very good.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly, exactly.
thank you. Yeah, I'm learning a lot from you, Dr. Hala. It really shows that because you're so much well traveled, you're able to overcome all these barriers, and I'm sure our listeners, our readers, will be able to get a lot from these tips or insights that you're sharing with us today. And those are
Yeah,
very important considerations when traveling to. Okay, you've shared us some strategies, some approaches on how to actually deal with perhaps um, not being it's cold. Can you just describe it as coldness from other
yeah,
people who doesn't know you?
yeah, yeah. So I will give you another example, very
Mm,
funny example. But again and again, Maria, I want to stress that you have to be equipped with a medium of communication. You need to know languages because language will open the doors for you. And you will not just like be a deaf person when you listen to other languages. You need to know at least English and French or two languages. I remember when I was in Germany, I was in the left, and there was a man with his wife, and he looked at me, and I was wearing a scarf, and he said, uh, he told his wife, "Ist nicht normal," and I could understand that he is saying it's not normal. So I turned to him and said, "Sir, it is normal. Why you are saying that?" He said, "Do you have anything with your head? Maybe you don't have hair, that's why you are putting the scarf." I said, "No, I have very long hair, but for us as Muslims, we prefer to cover our hair, and it's our tradition." And I invited him to the house of my brother. He is a neurologist, and when he visited us, he said, "Oh, I didn't know about your culture, and that's why I found it strange." You know, so sometimes you don't know about the other culture, and that's why you consider it completely strange and you don't accept it. So in this way, that's why in our center in London, we are trying to bridge the gap among cultures. We are trying to present people to the other cultures, even if they are strange habits, strange way of dressing, or whatever. Because the more you know about other people, the more you will be able to accept them.
mhm.
You know, and in this kind of acceptance, you will not miss the joy of communicating with other nations and other cultures.
Right. And it's more of like actively engaging with the locals there. It will really help both people, both uh, you know, uh, um, persons to really engage and understand each other. And
Yeah,
I was fortunate to visit your center in London last month in May, um, meet with you and all the other global professionals and leaders. So um, later on, maybe you will provide us more information about the Intercultural Center in London.
I have a very nice thing that we have suggested. We are doing a gala dinner in September, the
Mm-hmm,
30th. The idea of this gala is that you can be any culture you want
mm-hmm,
through dressing and through speech. So
mm.
I will be an Indian lady. I
Okay.
have chosen to be during the gala to be an Indian lady, and I will try to show it in my dress.
Mm-hmm,
And my son will be someone from Thailand. Also, and I have another lady who would like to be a French lady. So
okay.
it's nice even to try for one night for 3 or 4 hours to try become a different person, like a different avatar, but in a different culture. And we will present all types of foods for all the cultures, all musics, and we will try to learn also some words of the culture we are presenting. I
Oh,
think
that's
this
very
is a
nice.
tool, Maria. Nowadays,
Yeah.
especially after COVID-19 and after the lockdown, people are suffering from stress, from isolation, from loneliness. Many people lost their beloved ones, lost their jobs or properties. We have now earthquakes, we have fires, we have so many natural disasters. So unless we just, get together, support each other, forget about our differences, accept who we are and accept the others as they are, we won't be able to survive,
Hmm.
So we need to do, every one of us need to do something, just to
Hmm.
bring people together.
Yeah, and that I think that's a very good idea. Something unique. I haven't heard about that. Typically, when we're doing this multicultural events, you wear your own national dress or represent your own country. But what you mentioned to me was if you want to represent another country, another ethnicity, or another what you call that culture, you can do so, and that's I think giving honor to that particular culture. That's a
Yeah,
very good
exactly,
idea. Yeah.
exactly.
Hmm.
I wrote a book, Falling in Love with India. It was during COVID-19. I wrote it in cooperation with 7 co-authors, 7 Indian ladies,
Hmm.
and 2 from US, 2 Indian ladies living in US, 2 in Britain, 2 in India, and 1 in Dubai.
Hmm.
And we were able to produce a book that mentioned nothing about religions. We were, of course, from different religions, from different faiths and perspectives, but we were able to produce a book that is completely human, that is completely natural. We spoke about the human experiences, about our, let's say, how our roots can support us even if we are living in another country. And that was a very successful book, by the way.
And
So
it's
it's
also available.
available.
It's
Yeah,
also
it's
available for
available.
readers to
Yeah, it's
purchase.
available. And inshallah, during the gala dinner in London, I will try to bring copies of all the books just
Hmm.
to give away to all the Indians. So, because we need to share this.
Yeah, yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, and I got one of your books when I was in London in May, the Born to Lead book. So yeah, inshallah, when we see each other again, I hope to get one of your books again.
Yeah,
um,
inshallah. Yeah, exactly, inshallah.
Mhm. And so, it's wonderful to hear that as travelers, we can make a difference through our interactions, having that open mindset, embracing other cultures, respecting and having that sensitivity to other cultures and backgrounds. But what if I cannot travel, Dr. Hala, but I live in a very multicultural society,
Yeah.
very much similar to London, Dubai, and here in Canada. So, how can lessons learned from intercultural communication during travel be applied in our everyday life to promote acceptance and
Yeah.
understanding?
Yeah. So, shall I tell you a story? I don't know if it was a real story or not, but it is a very nice story that will give you the answer to your question.
Mm-hmm.
It is once said that a very poor man was walking in the street. His back was bent, his beard was very long, and he was wroth. He was not, attractive at all. He had nothing. And suddenly, a very luxurious car stops near him, and a very handsome, elegant man goes down and looks at this miserable man and give him an offer.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "You have to give me 5 years of of your age. You come and sit in the basement of my palace. And after the 5 years, I will give you $10 million." So, of course, the beggar had nothing. So he agreed. And he went into the dark, cellar or basement of the palace. He looked around, he found nothing, no windows, nothing. But the rich man said, you can ask for anything. So he started asking for books, books of literature, books of language, books of music. And then he started asking for brush and pens, colors. He started to ask the rich man to bring him some musical instruments. After 5 years, the rich man went down the basement. And he was very, very much surprised to see that the walls have turned into sunny beaches, big windows, gardens. And instead of that beggar who went into the basement, there was a new man. He was sitting with confidence, his no bent back at all, and he was speaking languages, and he was playing music, and he was completely a different person.
Mhm.
And he was speaking in a very eloquent language with the rich man. And the rich man offered him his freedom and the $10 million. The man who was once a beggar now became very rich with the wealth of his mind, with the wealth of the experiences he read in the books, with the wealth of the knowledge he acquired in languages, history, arts, etc. And he looked at the rich man and said, now he stood straight and he looked even taller than the rich man. He looked down at him and he said, I don't need your money. Now I have the wealth of ideas and knowledge to bring me the money I want.
Mm.
So wherever you are, even if you don't travel, you can get the knowledge coming to you. You can get those experiences through books or even through videos or through communicating with other people. So I hope the story
Oh,
had the answer.
yeah, beautiful story. It's really more of how you see your world. I think you mentioned that, get that those stories, those knowledge coming to you. It's you accepting that. And I think one of the things that we can only do that is by accepting other people's culture and background as well. And we learn from that. We don't have to really travel because really the culture is all around us in our very multicultural society.
So I will just tell you something. Reality, Maria, what does reality represent? Is there reality? Nowadays, scientists, they say there is no one set of reality because we have different perspectives of reality. So
Mhm.
reality for me is different to other people.
Right.
So you can create your own reality,
Wow.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. And you can change your own reality, right? Change
Exactly,
it for the
exactly.
better. Yeah.
Yeah, to the better, exactly like the story I told you about,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
you go to a place, what you keep from that place is not really the photographs you take, but rather the impressions left on your mind. So
Mhm.
you can get already those impressions on your mind while reading.
That's right.
Because some books, some descriptive books will take you exactly to the place, will give you very accurate description, and
Yeah.
then comes the video and so on. So you can create your own reality and your own experiences.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, very, very insightful again, Dr. Hala. And so I know you've authored a number of books, but I just want, to have this opportunity for you to at least discuss one of the books because I know you're a great author, you're a great writer. In one of the
Thank you
descriptions
so
there
much.
that you are really very descriptive in terms of how you describe the travels you've been to, um, translate it into words that people can really maybe imagine in their minds while reading your book. So there's one book there that I'm quite interested to know. It's A Journey of Self-Recognition. So can you tell us how this book will inspire us to embrace and appreciate the beauty and
Well, yeah,
human
this book
experiences? Yeah.
consists of 3 chapters. And it is not a continuous story. It is the, small reflections and stories of people I met and the places I visited.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm transferring my experiences, but all in all, it is positive experience, you know. So whatever I write in the book, it has a moral lesson, it has something new, it has to build a positive perspective of the world, of people, for the readers. And this is my message, because when you write something, it is there even after you go, after you are gone.
Mm.
So usually I say, even when you cease to be, you will always be there. Your words, your deeds, and the pages you left for others to read and complete. So when you write a book, you have to be very careful in what you are expressing, because this will change the attitudes of people. So let's try to be very positive in our writing. Not to falsify reality, of course, but as I've said, to look at reality from a positive perspective.
Mhm. Mhm. And that will be, it's part of your legacy, leaving that
Exactly.
not just the book, but the transformation that readers will be getting out of that book that they're reading that you wrote. And
Yeah,
I think the behavioral change, right? The impact of this book to people who are reading
yeah,
it.
exactly,
Wonderful. Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
I wrote a story of self-recognition in 2018, and then I wrote Secrets of Living, then Surviving the Big Bang.
Hmm.
It's a very realistic book, 12 stories of what has been going on during the civil war in Syria.
Okay.
And then there was COVID-19. We were in lockdown. So I wrote Hope in the Time of Deadly 19. And I love this book. Inshallah, I will give you a copy. And then I wrote Born to Lead 1 and Born to Lead 2. It's a series of books that highlight leaders of the world based on their humanitarian efforts and their efforts to bridge the gap among cultures. So the first character was Muhammad Abdullah al-Ghaz, who lived in the 30s, a very nice story. And then I wrote about Saihati, and now there is a third character I'm planning my third book about. And there is also Falling in Love with India, and also Mama Africa,
Hmm.
co-authored with African and Indian ladies. And there was a book for children, Lily and the Blue Mermaid.
Wow, wonderful. In spite of your busy schedule, you still have time to write and share your thoughts and, to us readers. So I admire you I admire you for that. You're not just, an author, you're a mom behind all these accolades that you receive. You're a mom. I know that. I've met your son. So, where can they buy the books, Dr. Hala?
Excuse me?
Where can they buy the books? Where can they get the
Uh,
books?
the books are available on Amazon, and in fact, I'm ready to send. I've already donated many of my books to Ghana and
Okay.
to South Africa and also to Nigeria through some associations and
Mm.
also through the United Nations.
Wow.
Because I feel, for some people who are unable to afford to buy a new book, it's a pleasure to give them a new book to read, and then they can recycle. And so whomever want a copy, I'm ready, and we can coordinate, sending
Hmm.
the books. And
Okay.
inshallah, during the gala dinner in September, whomever join us will have a copy of the book.
All right. Thanks, Dr. Ha. And lastly, so can you provide us some information on the center in London, the Intercultural Center in London, and if you know the website, I'll put it on when I post this one, I'll put it on the information as
Yeah,
well, the
exactly,
information of the
exactly,
websites.
exactly.
Just briefly, the information about the center in London, please.
So if you can just give me 1 minute,
Sure.
okay? So I will just read the few
Okay. Yeah.
lines. Right?
From the book.
This
Yeah.
one, yeah, at the Acropolis. This chapter is about Athens. I just want to read something. You know, old white painted small houses scattered along the beach and up the island hills, forming narrow alleys clustered with small stone bricks, shaded with olive trees and decorated with old cafes. The smell of coffee aroma filled the place with an irresistible thirst for a drink that would keep you awake. In such a beauty, sleeping would be a sin, never to be forgiven. So, yeah,
Very descriptive, and I
yeah,
think
yeah,
it gives me, just reading it from you, hearing it from you, it gives me that very like the scenery, like the image itself of the place. So, and how
yeah,
much more
yeah.
if we read more of that book, in in all of those pages in the book. So yeah,
Yeah, sometimes it's nice to listen also to someone reading the book for you. Yeah,
yeah,
maybe I should work on that. Yeah, so
yeah,
about
yeah.
the center, it's Intercultural Center in London, and we provide corporate training, professional training, and also we provide cultural coaching for students who arrive newly in London. You know, they face difficulty in just adapting to the community. They feel afraid that, oh, if I mingle, I might lose my roots, my culture. So we provide this kind of cultural coaching. And we hold conferences and events for, you know, knowledge exchange. We hold like this gala dinner. We have a magazine and we hold conferences. So our next conference will be in Dubai, inshallah, in November. And there will be another annual conference in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in February.
April next year.
Yeah,
Okay.
but we have this year for the fourth quarter of this year. We have so many activities.
And yeah, I'll put the link to the center, the link of the Intercultural Center when I post this one in my
It is
article. And
London
yeah.
Intercultural Center.co.uk.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
please contact us for any help, for any information. We are part of the United Nations. Nations. We are ready to help, and any organization, we are ready to help with the refugees. We have plans to provide books and also training for the refugees, because you know now that the movement of immigration of refugees coming to different parts of the world need our hands. You know, we need to help those people cope with the new
yeah,
environment that they are traveling to.
yeah, wonderful, wonderful, very humanitarian mission that you have there for the center. Okay, and lastly for you, Dr. Hara, where can they get hold of you if they want to reach you for any speaking engagements or training? What's the best way for them to see you or reach you?
Yeah, now I have a, if you be so kind to share my LinkedIn profile,
Sure, yeah, I will do that. Yeah.
they can message me on LinkedIn. Also, my email is Dr. Al Miniawi at London Intercultural Center.co.uk. And also, you can contact me directly on my phone number 0971 I have WhatsApp on that number. If you need a copy of my book, I can send it as a gift. And if you need any kind of virtual training, virtual coaching, or physical one in Dubai, in London, we are ready to coordinate this for you, whether you are an individual or you represent an organization.
All
Also,
right.
Maria, you and your community would like also to invite you to the gala dinner in September on the 30th in London Intercontinental Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And be prepared to choose which culture you would like to represent.
Perfect.
Or you can come in your own culture.
Yeah. And that's also it's good to know that you can come in any culture you want to give honor to that particular culture. Yeah. Wonderful
Exactly.
idea for that gala. Yeah, and so Dr. Hala, this will not be our last conversation. I'll just end our interview today. I really thank you and appreciate you sharing your insights, your knowledge, your experience with us, with our viewers, with our readers, because I'll be writing an article about this as well and sharing it on our social media, sharing it with you. And yeah, thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your weekend. It's Saturday evening
You
there. I really
so much,
appreciate it.
Maria. We were also honored to have you as the keynote speaker at Saihati Intercultural Center during the AIMS Conference and Awards. We owe you a big thank you for the presentation you presented.
You're
You are
welcome.
very unique and very professional. So thank you so much. And thanks for our listener or viewers. I hope that I have added a kind of a value. I try to be so natural in the way I talked about my experiences. So I hope that I was able to reach your hearts and minds as well.
Well, listening from you, you did. You did it so well, Dr. Hala. And it's a pleasure and it's an honor for me to be part of your event last May. So thank you so much. And we'll see you again.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye bye.